And also around this time, like, remember when I told you we were supposed to be moving to Maryland July 15th? That was our move out date. I had already put in my 2 weeks notice at work. I had already gave my landlord the heads up that I was going to be moving out. So it's July 2nd, and I had already gave them notice that I was moving out. So I'm just like, shit, let me figure out something. So I ended up talking with my boss and withdrawing my resignation, because I'm like, I'm gonna be in the hospital for a while so that I can use my FMLA. And I was like, and when I get out of the hospital, I'm gonna be here until the baby get out of the NICU. So I'm like, right now I'm still gonna be here, so I feel like I'm still gonna need a job, and I'm gonna need my FMLA, because like, no, I need my money, I need my coins. So they agreed to withdraw my resignation so I can use my FMLA. I love them for that. Oh my God, I love them for that. So that, and also while I was in there around this time, D decided that he wanted to get a new vehicle. He wants to upgrade my vehicle, because I had a Ford Focus, and he was like, I need a bigger vehicle, I need a more up-to-date vehicle, so he will upgrade my vehicle. And I was just like, well, my credit isn't all that great right now, because it wasn't all that great, because like I said, like before, I had an eviction already on my record and all that, and like, yes, I was maintaining my bills, but still my credit was not that great back in 2019. So he was just like, so how about this? How about we let them come repo your car and I just get us a new car? I'm like, why would I let them repo my car? He's like, well, we can trade it in. I was like, but if we trade it in, I'm sure we're gonna be upside down, because like, I owe more on the car than it's worth. Like, I know I owe more on this car than it's worth. So we're gonna be upside down on it. So it's really gonna be adding to the loan if we trade it in. He was like, all right, just let them come repo it in. Like, do a voluntary repo. I'm like, but I don't want that on my credit, because I'm trying to build my credit. He was just like, but it's only going to be up there for a little while, and then you can probably dispute it and get it off. It's like, but I want to upgrade your car. Like, you deserve an upgrade on your car. So that's what happened. I ended up letting them come get my Ford Focus. I know. And I ended up taking the car that he bought me as my push present, so he can upgrade my car. That's how I ended up getting the car, because like, he had a job. He did have a job. He did have a license now. So it's like, he bought the car. The car was in his name, but it was still technically my car. Okay? So I got the brand new car while I'm in the hospital, so I ain't even driven the car. He just showed me pictures of the car. Oh, this is your car. All right, cool. Guess who's driving the car while I'm in the hospital? All right. So I was able to get my job back to let me start back working. The only issue that we was running into was my landlord. So because I had already given my notice that I was going to move out, I gave my notice in June of July 15th, move out date. So she had already rented the house out to somebody else. So I could not renege on that and stay in that house. So in the process of me being in the hospital and trying to keep the baby in and all this and that, we had to figure out how we're going to get all our stuff out of the house and where we were going to stay, because she had already rented the house to somebody else. So we had to figure out where we was going to stay. So D took him and Jackson end up emptying out the house. Like, emptying out the house. I called up a cleaning services to get the house clean or whatever not. We had to figure out where we're going to keep the dogs. We ended up asking his friend Charles, can the dog stay at his house, because he was in the process of moving himself, so his apartment was pretty much empty. So the dog stayed in his apartment, and D would go check on the dogs throughout the day when he wasn't at work. They'll walk them, feed them, whatever. Him and Jackson would do that, and then they would clear out the house and put everything in the storage. We ended up putting everything in a storage unit. Jackson's birthday was July 9th. We ended up having like a little small little birthday for Jackson where it was pretty much the nurses brought me a little brownie, and I put a little candle on it and sung happy birthday to Jackson. So he celebrated his birthday in the hospital with me. So around this time, they're cleaning out the house because everything had to be out by July 15th. Well, out by or before July 15th. So everything had to be out, clean, smooth. And the landlord didn't know we had dogs, so they had to get it clean. Everything cleaned out or whatever not. So in the process of all of this, of course, my family is calling me, telling me that Jackson does not need to be in the hospital with me. Jackson needs to be with family. He doesn't need to be in the hospital with me. And I would tell Darren, I was just like, well, my family is saying that Jackson doesn't need to be in the hospital with me. But I keep telling them that he's okay because he's only here at night to sleep. Because throughout the day, he was in camp. So, and he was keeping me company. I was in the hospital. So he was my only source of entertainment because I couldn't go nowhere. But they were just like, no, he's a child. He should not be in the hospital with you, this and that. And my mom was trying to convince me to let Jackson go down there with her. Of course, D wasn't going for that. He was not going for that. He was like, no, Jackson ain't going nowhere. He's fine. He was like, my son is fine. He is fine. I was like, okay, all right. He ain't gotta go nowhere. He gonna stay right here with us. You say he's fine, okay? He's fine. And I asked Jackson, I'm like, Jackson, you okay? I'm like, do you want to go stay with your nana down for the summer until I got to the hospital, or you want to stay with mom? And he would look at Darian, and then look back at me and be like, I want to stay with you, mom. And I'm just like, oh, Jackson, it's okay. If you want to go stay with your family, you can go. He's like, no, I'm having fun with you. I want to stay with you. That kid, yo. That. It didn't make sense to me then why he did that. It did later. Like, when we was in Maryland and things came to the head, it made sense later. So he didn't want to go nowhere. He wanted to stay with me. And I'm just like, all right. And I was telling him, I'm like, Jackson, he's fine. He want to stay here. He's fine. I'm like, I got my Xbox here and everything. I'm like, he's good. But and he was just like, okay, he's good or whatever not. Tell me why 2 days after Jackson's birthday, it is July 11th now. It's my sister Brittany's birthday. But this ain't about Brittany's birthday. So 2 days after Jackson's birthday, I'm laying in the bed. Jackson's gone to summer camp. And D is sitting on the sofa because he didn't have to work. So he is sitting on the sofa, playing a game on his phone. I'm laying in the bed looking at something on TV, and my hospital phone rang. I'm like, at first I'm just like, why the fuck the hospital? Because it ain't rung the entire time I've been there. So I'm just like, the hospital phone ring, okay. I pick it up. I'm like, hello? And the voice was just like, Key. I was like, hello? It was like, Key. I'm like, hello? It was like, Key, you pregnant again? And I was just like, huh? Wait, is this? And I said his name, Jackson's dad. And then I was just like, this. And he was just like, yeah, your mama called me and said that you was in the hospital and this man was putting his hands on you and my son. He's putting his hands on my son. And I looked, I know. I cut my eyes and I looked, and Darren was looking at me like, who the fuck on the phone? He was like, who the fuck on the phone? Who is that? Who is that? And I was just like, my mama did what? I tried to whistle. I was like, my mama did what? He was like, is that man putting his hands on you? And he was like, who the fuck you talking to? And he came around the bed.